Magic and Mystery in Tibet by Alexandra David-Neel. Preparation for meditation is called Niampar Jagpa, Niampar Jagpa. It consists in bringing the mind into perfect stillness, and the contemplation of the tiny dot of fire at the top of the stick helps in producing that state of calm. Then there's a footnote here, and it says, properly speaking, the gomching is merely a stick at which one gazes to obtain fixity of mind. The burning incense stick is a variety of gomching. People who habitually practice methodical contemplation often experience, when sitting down for their appointed time of meditation, the sensation of putting down a load or taking off a heavy garment and entering a silent, delightfully calm region. It is the impression of deliverance and serenity, which Tibetan mystics call Niampar Jagpa, to make equal, to level, meaning calming down all causes of agitation that roll their waves through the mind. Another exercise, which, however, seems to be seldom practiced, consists in displacing one's consciousness in one's own body. It is explained as follows. We feel our consciousness in our heart. Our arms seem to us to be annexes to our body, and our feet seem to be a distant part of our person. In fact, arms, feet, and other parts of the body are looked at as if they were objects for a subject dwelling elsewhere. Now the student will endeavor to make the consciousness leave its habitual abode and transfer it, for instance, to the hand. Then he must feel himself to have the shape of 5 fingers and a palm situated at the extremity of a long attachment, in brackets, the arm, which joins on to bring a big moving structure, the body. That is to say, he must experience the sensation that we might have. Instead of having the eyes and the brain in the head, we had them in the hand. And then the hand was able to examine the head and the body, reversing the normal process, which is to look downward in order to see the hands or the body. What can be the aim of such strange exercises? The most frequent answer given to my questions will probably seem unsatisfactory by many inquirers, yet it is probably quite correct. Some lamas have told me that the aim of these practices can hardly be explained, because those who have not felt their effects could not understand the explanations. One attains, by the means of these strange drills, psychic states entirely different from those habitual to us. They cause us to pass beyond the fictitious limits which we assign to the self, the result being that we grow to realize that the self is compound, impermanent, and that the self as self does not exist. One of these lamas seized upon a remark I had made as an argument in support of his theory. When we spoke of the heart as the seat of thought and mind, I had said that Westerners would rather place thoughts and mind in the brain. You see, immediately replied my interlocutor, that one may feel and recognize the mind in different places, since these foreigners experience the sensation of thinking in their head, and I experience it in my heart. One may believe that it's quite possible to feel it in the foot, but all these are only deceitful sensations, with no shadow of reality. The mind is neither in the heart, nor in the head, nor somewhere outside of the body, apart, separated, alien from it. It is to help one realize this fact that these apparently strange practices have been devised. Here again we meet with the clearing process. All these exercises aim at destroying habitual notions accepted by routine and without personal investigation. The object is to make one understand that other ideas can be put in their place. It is hoped that the disciple will conclude that there cannot be any absolute truth in ideas derived from sensations which can be discarded, while others, even contradictory to them, take their place. Kindred theories are professed by the followers of the Chinese Tsang sect, Ts'An, Tsang sect. They express them in an enigmatical sentence, such as, "Lo, a cloud of dust is rising from the ocean, and the roaring of the waves is heard over the land. I will walk on foot, and yet on the back of an ox I am riding. When I pass over the bridge, lo, the water floweth not, but the bridge floweth. Empty-handed I go, and behold, the spade's handle is in my hand." And so on. The doctrine of the Tsang sect has been defined by one of its followers as the art of perceiving the polar star in the austral hemisphere. This paradoxical saying resembles that of the lamas who said to me, "One must discover the white in the black, and the black in the white." I shall cite a question current in Tibet, which mystic hermits as well as philosophers living in monasteries put to their pupils. A flag moves. What is it? That which moves? Is it the flag or the wind? The answer is that neither the flag nor the wind moves. It is the mind that moves. The followers of the Tsang sect, and by the way, Tsang, there's a footnote here, and it says called Zen sect in Japan. So, the followers of the Tsang sect or the Zen sect ascribe the origin of this question to the rich patriarch of their sect. Once, in the courtyard of the monastery, he saw two monks looking at a flag floating in the air. One of them declared, "It is the flag that moves." The other affirmed, "It is the wind that moves." Then the master explained to them that the perception, oh dear, let me start that sentence over again. Then the master explained to them that the perception of emotion which they experienced was not really due to the wind or to the flag, but to something existing in themselves. We are in doubt as to whether such ways of thinking have been imported into Tibet from India or from China. I may, however, state the opinion expressed by a lama, the Bonpas, B-O-N with two dots over the O, P-O-S. He said, the Bonpas taught us such things long before Padmasambhava came to Tibet. And then there's a footnote, and it says, this means before Buddhism spread into Tibet. Abandoning further investigations on the transcendental results of transferring one's mind to different parts of the body, I may remark that during this exercise, a peculiar sensation of heat is felt at the spot where one has transported his consciousness. It is rather difficult to ascertain whether the phenomena consists in a real increase in heat or a subjective sensation only. The very idea of undertaking such investigation would break the concentration of mind and so destroy the cause that produced heat. As to making observation upon other people, it is almost impossible. Tibetan hermits and their disciples have nothing in common with Western professional mediums who work for money and allow us to examine the phenomena which they produce. The most insignificant student of a Gomchen would feel astonished if such a proposal were made to them. I can hear him answer, "I do not care whether you believe or not in these phenomena, and I have no desire to convince you. I am not a juggler giving theatrical performances." And I am going to pause here and continue next time. And I just like to say one thing. This is so interesting to me because this heat sensation, where you redirect your attention or your consciousness to a different body part. I have done this and I have actually experienced that heat. And it's been so amazingly strong. Like at the time it was my foot, and I thought my foot was going to spontaneously burn. It was so hot, it seemed so hot, so painful, that I reached down. I had to reach down and touch it to see if it was all right. And it was. It wasn't, it's not physical heat. I don't know what is going on there. I can't explain it, but I have experienced it. And it was so, to me, exciting to read about this in this chapter. Okay, so we have one more part of this chapter to read, and then we'll be in the last chapter of this book. And the last chapter is chapter 8, and it's entitled Psychic Phenomenon in Tibet, How Tibetans Explain Them. Till soon.